just finished having the most delightful meal of her entire life. Right? She has traveled long and far from Anthelion with this vision of duck, basted in orange in her head. And when she finally arrived in Teelduc, she was able to find it, almost guided to the place where it was. And it was the most amazing meal ever. So even before the wonderful taste of the food is gone, you begin to have other visions, visions of fruits, things you've never seen before, hanging ripe from green trees and lush territories, and so on. And then, as the vision clears, and so on, you actually hear the herald talking about the new world and the new fruits and various other things that are out there. Right? Cool. That's what I'm going to do.
I must go towards the fruit.
Excellent.
Shiny ripe
Frutas. There you go. And it's all about the food. Speaking of food, you compulsively stuffed your mouth yet again, and you know that something's got to be done about this. Something's got to be done. And Don Budoni takes you aside, and says, "Nina, you've been a good ninja. We like you here a lot at the academy, but you've got a problem, and you've got to deal with your problem." Right? Now, I've been checking around, right? And there's this witch called Graven the Witch, right? And she's an expert at all things gastronomic. And anybody in the world is going to be able to cure your curse. I think Graven is going to be able to do that.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Right. Now, I don't want to tell you how to run your life, right? But I think you're going to eat yourself to death within a year if you don't get help, if you don't do something like this.
You really think that?
I really think that. Okay, right. So anyway, I've got some contacts in the Colonial Company who will be able to help you out, and etc. And get you there safely if you wanted to go see Graven.
Okay.
Did you want to do it?
I want to do it.
Okay, excellent. So.
Man, when's lunch?
Now I need some food. I'm feeling anxious. Yeah, exactly. So really what we need to do, to bulk you up and all this other stuff, is we need to have some food here at the session. So through various diverse reasons, people assemble in Teelduc and Baclavia on August 9th, in the Market Square, right, which is where the Colonial Company representatives all told you to go, some things. The Colonial Company reps, by the way, all wear these little armbands, black armbands, so forth and so on. And then they've got little interlinked C's, Colonial Companies, which are going around it. So they're very easy to identify a crowd. And they're all waving people over to a central place, etc., where there are several people already assembled. You take a look around. There's maybe 60, 70, wow, maybe even 100 people here. It's hard to tell, right? Because there's throngs of other people that are around as well, a whole lot, right? And then one man catches your attention. He's very stout, broad, obviously a fighter, obviously used to being in command as well. He's in this very large banded mail, which is gleaming, has huge bracers on his arms, which obviously uses for shields as well. And he's, highly armored, got weapons hanging off of him, for murderers and so on. He's got a long beard, short cropped hair, and an exceptionally gravelly voice. So once everybody assembles and all this various other stuff, blah, he speaks to the entire group. "Hello, my name is Strick. I'm going to be the Warden of Golden, which is the place where we'll be headed to eventually. The new world is dangerous, so you have to make sure that you listen to all the instructions that we give you on the trip. The chain of command when we go out there is going to be myself, Jeremiah Bloom, then Yaman Hazim, Sergeant Anderson, any of the people who wear the livery of Baclavia, and then the adventurers and finally civilians.
There are going to be 3 places where you could possibly settle in the New World. One of them is called Dandelion, another one is called Overgrowth, and the place where I, the adventurers, and most of the military personnel will be going is called Golden. If you are a civilian and you wish to go to Golden as well, you'll be given a 1 gold piece incentive. Free, gratis, and so on. Yeah, it will not be part of your indenture. Does anybody have any questions? Looks around the crowd. Nobody seems to have any questions. Doesn't blah. Okay, very well. Yaman Hazim is going to take the adventurers shopping in case you need anything. I heartily recommend that you get cloaks and boots because it's going to be a pretty wet, dangerous, and mucky place when we go. And I'll be seeing you all soon. Woohoo! So it turns out that Yaman Hazim is a short little hacking guy. He's dark-skinned, swarthy. He's got an Arabian turban on, and so on. He looks very Mediterranean, Arabic, almost very like a. And he's got one of the bands. All the other bands that you've seen have copper, as the thing. He's got gold. Which is very interesting. You think you saw a few silver ones in the ground. So if they're going by, the metals and all this other stuff, this means that this guy's a Makamaka. This guy's a high Makamaka. Right? It is very nice to be meeting you all. We are going to go shopping. I have the 100 gold pieces that were offered to you before, as part of your incentive. You will have up to 1 year to pay it off, and at the end of the year, then it will simply be forgiven, and you will be free of your indenture. Let us go acquire all of the items that you will need for your adventure. So he takes you around the market square with which to get things. And I assume that you simply buy all the stuff that's on your character sheets at this point, blah, blah. Is there anything in addition that people wish to get that's on the character sheets?
Extra rations.
Extra. Yeah, very good. There you go. Okay, very good. Well, I think, rations for you and all this other stuff are going to be, half a gold piece per day. So buy as many extra rations as you want to get money for. Okay. Now, actually, this is an interesting time in which you show people how the encumbrance system works. You have on your left-hand side here an encumbrance total. So everybody see this on their character sheets, right? Your encumbrance limit is the thing that's up there. So his is 16 items, and you're carrying 6 3/4 of this junction. Right? Now, if you wanted to add some rations, all this other stuff, you would add the rations here, and then increase your total. Right there. The second block. And similarly, if you wanted to get some boots, for example, you would add a quarter item here, and then add another quarter item there, etc. Once your encumbrance gets over your encumbrance limit, then your movement starts to slow down. Okay, so I'll explain how that works once we actually get there. If anybody actually gets to over their encumbrance limit, but basically you lose 5 feet for every item that's over your encumbrance. Okay.
I need you to explain that again in point of light.
Okay.
Here's my limit, and what's I?
I is items. That stands for items. So everything in the world now. What? Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's correct. It's not an imaginary number. Yes. I've never even thought of that. Oh my God. These could be imaginary numbers. We actually use J.
Yes.
What? Okay, these are the weights in items of all the things to the right. So for example, you're carrying 1 great axe, and it weighs 2 items. You have a spear, and it weighs a half item. You have a shield, and it weighs 2 items. All those are shows up. And there's just, as far as where the...
So this 3 over 1 is just...
It's just 3, that's correct, yeah. And that's because no matter how hard I tried, I could not make Excel both print out fractions and print out normal numbers. Okay? And I tried everything in the universe, and I just couldn't do it. Okay, so okay. Now, as for where the things come from, there's just a big chart of where all the junk comes from. You don't need to worry about it because it's automatically on your character sheet. But if you need to look stuff up, if you want to get stuff, you can look up. And so, for example, if you were going to get boots, the way that it would work, as you were to have boots, if you were going to get a cloak, the way that it would work is a cloak weighs a half item. You're wearing a cloak. You'd add a half item, so you'd be 12, 3 quarters. You everything, and then you don't have to worry until you get near 22 items. Actually, you probably never have to worry because I can't even see. 35 feet is your movement rate. So that's how fast you move. Right? So what happens is once you go over 22 items, then, for example, if
if you were suddenly be at 23 items, then you would go down to 30 for food.
Right.
Everything will block. Okay?
So if you have extra movement, do you gain more of these chips? How does it?
That's right. If you have extra movement, then I'm going to give you more chips. The chips are over there, so we're going to block.
But 5-foot chips are special, aren't they?
The 5-foot chips are special. The 5-foot chip is the same as the 5-foot move action in 3.5. Right? So the big thing that's going to happen in this system is that the 5-foot chip, basically you can do what you want without an attack of opportunity. That's the shape of the 5-foot chip. Okay?
Can we trade our 10 for 2 5s?
No, you can't trade the 10 for 2 5s. Good, nice try! Nice try. I like the angles here.
Does folks does the listing of clothes cover clothing and boots? Alright.
No, so if you don't have it on your sheet, you need to have it on your sheet.
Alright.
There's a special going on today. 1 gold piece for cloak and boots. If you want cloak and boots, 1 gold piece in all this regular stuff. A cloak that is a 1/2 item. And boots. Yeah, exactly. You can't just so you had 3/4 to your cloak.
My friend has code component,
Yep.
so I need to get boots.
So you just need to get boots. That's
And
right.
I write this underneath code.
Yep, exactly.
And that's one thing.
And then it's 1/4 item for, for boots. 1/4.
1/4.
Yeah. And then this means that you have 5 3/4, so then you go up to 6 items. Fortunately, I don't have to worry about it. What are you
So,
doing?
I had it here, so I was wondering.
Okay, now what happens is on that sheet here, so this is very good because now we're talking about another important thing here. Okay, you'll notice that you have 2 places where you possibly write items on your entire sheet. Okay, you've got the front one and you've got the back one. Okay, the difference between the two is the stuff that's on the front is considered to be ready. Okay, so these are your ready items. Ready items are important because you can get them out for move action combat. That may not mean anything, but what it means is you can do fast. Okay? Now, if the stuff is on the back sheet, right, those are considered to be stored items. Right? All this other stuff. And stored items take a full round to get out of combat. Right? So pretty much you put the stuff on the back sheet that you don't expect to ever need in combat. Make sense?
So you said those are gold each?
Yeah, whole piece together.
What happens to my encumbrance? Is there?
But you add it to your encumbrance, yes, that's correct. So no matter where you write it on your sheet, it always goes on your master encumbrance thing. So it's on.
So there's another.
Is there? Yes, because I made a mistake. Oh my God, it's horrible. There's no one there. There is no one there. Okay, very good.
It's not the one you're looking.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, very good. Okay.
Keep track of how much money you have.
The money that you have is on the back sheet. Inheritance time. You have no money.
But they just gave us some money, didn't they?
Yeah, no, but you blew it on your chainmail action.
I did?
Yeah, exactly. But that's
Yeah,
okay.
you spent
get
so fast.
You get the book. By the way, the whole point of the shopping expedition was actually just to show people how to use the encumbrance system. So I don't care about the gold piece to be perfect now. But anyway, this is actually very important. Your money is on the back sheet in inheritance time. And the way that it works is you've got gold pieces. Gold pieces are like dollars. Right? Silver pieces are a tenth of that, so they're like diamonds. Copper pieces are a tenth of that, so they're like pennies. Platinum pieces are like a $10 bill. Who's on a $10 bill? I don't know who's on a $10 bill. Franklin? Is it Franklin? I thought Franklin? No, Franklin's on a $100 bill. Yeah, so the J piece, the jewel pieces are Franklin's, they're $100 bills, and the $10 bills are something. Anyway, whatever. There's something.
What's a Jackson?
Jewel piece, which is basically 10 platinum pieces. Right? So that's the standard currency that pretty much everybody in the world will want. Go ahead, Karen. Okay. Woohoo!
Convert everything to GPDs.
What?
We'll convert everything to GPDs.
Yeah! Just so you know, money changing usually carries a 10% exchange rate fee. This is one. Okay.
Change
So
it from what to what?
if you change one currency into another currency.
You know, of these.
Yeah, the various currencies all certain right? Basically, back in the day, they can. I mean, if you think banks today are dead, right? Money changers back then, they'll just shaft you. Right. So, any other questions on the encumbrance system or any other thing?
How much is coin cost?
How much do coins weigh? Coins weigh 100 gold pieces per item. Right? So 25 of them round up to the next quarter item. Right? By the way, in the encumbrance system, everything that's a small thing is a quarter item. Whatever, I don't care. I pick up a piece of lint. You write it on your character sheet, quarter item. And then the whole point is so that you know exactly how encumbered you are at any moment. Okay, so it's a full block. And it limits the
kitchen sink effect, which is everybody carries around everything looks like. Okay?
Just like the other guy, I would think.
Right, exactly. For what? Everybody wants to have, everything with them. What's that?
Sort of clicky booty thing doesn't come out of our money.
If you've got the money, spend it. If you don't, then don't.
Is this Hazim guy taking us out?
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. I
So
said,
he's-
by the way, just so you know, the Hazim guy, correct, all for each other shop, for the 100 gold pieces and all for each other shop, he never puts the 100 gold pieces in your hand. Okay?
Ah.
You say, oh, I'd like to get, this chainmail, which costs 150 gold pieces. He says, well, if you were to give 50 gold pieces to the kind gentleman, I'll give 100 gold pieces to the kind gentleman, and then I can go to the chainmail and I'll for so on, blah, blah, right? So he's not taking any chances that anybody's taking the money and running, right, at this juncture, right? So the,
Oh, we
okay.
haven't got on the ship yet, so.
That's right, yes, exactly.
You can't take the chain in there.
Right, yeah, exactly. I mean, now you're in armor, you could just leave right now. It's fine.
You wouldn't even get mine, you could just walk.
How tough could this Yaman Hazim guy be anyway? Yeah. So, do whatever you like. Okay, we're good. Those are the rings of power.
That's strength only.
So, while we're walking around,
Yeah.
some conversation.
If you want to have a conversation, sure, go ahead.
Do they have titles?
What titles?
These people who are in the Colonial Company?
Oh, as far as you know, no.
Okay.
They just call them reps or Colonial Company reps. Right.
Yaman?
Mhm.
You look like a person that might know something about stones. I have this interest
Mhm.
in stone. Do you know anybody in Golden where we're going where I might inquire about some,
About stone?
Yeah,
You're
about
interested in
stones.
stones? Oh, there would be a great many people in Golden who will be knowing about stones, yes. So it turns out that Golden has got a very large gold mine, and then there are a number of specialized miners and other people who know things about the earth there. So you'll almost certainly be able to find out about stones if that is your interest.
And will you be staying in Golden?
Yes, I will be going to Golden with you as well. So, many, many interesting things are happening in Golden right now. But wait, there are other people buying things. What's up?
So he's a no.
He's a halfling. Right. Looks like he can be blown away by Stifling.
He's not that skinny.
What?
He's not
No,
that
I
skinny.
mean, he's very well set for a halfling. Okay.
Maybe stomach fun for
I'm not making fun of them. I'm admiring them. Yes, that's it. Admiring them for their shortness, their thinness, and their,